Welcome back to DC Silver Age Storytime. And today's story is from Superman 126, published in January 1959. It's The Spell of the Shandu Clock, a story by Jerry Coleman and art by Wayne Boring. Do you believe in the supernatural? In invisible shadow beings dwelling in a world beyond? Of course you don't. And neither does Superman. But when a master magician seeks revenge against the Man of Steel, from beyond the grave, eerie events take place which cast Superman under the spell of the Shandu Clock. Look at Superman, Jimmy. The Shandu Clock has him in its spell again. So we open to a magical act by Shandu, and Superman breaks in as he's doing his act and says, "Very impressive, Shandu, but a fraud. You cleverly sprinkled chemicals on the table and created those weird flames, and hidden in the ceiling above is the electromagnetic operated by a switch at your foot. That's how you made the table rise. You fool, I am not a fraud." I don't know why Superman's even bothering. You'd think he'd have better things to do than worry about a magician, which I'm not even sure if it's illegal. So Superman leaves after the Shandu threatens him and says he's going to use supernatural forces. But Shandu immediately dies at sea and left a message that he will prove beyond the grave that there is a supernatural. So he created this clock, the Shandu clock, and so Superman goes there to see it. And it's a very odd-looking clock with what looks like possibly a Chinese symbol. But I don't think it's actually real. So Superman scoffs at it, but upon the hour, a little tiny version of Superman comes out and uses its fist to hit a hammer and create a gong. Suddenly Superman is in a trance and he flies headfirst into a big boulder. So later Superman says, "I don't know what came over me. I can't answer your questions. I just found myself flying far away and smashing into something headfirst with all my might." Head first, like the figure that struck the gong. I don't think he struck it with his head. I think it was fist first. Oh no, I'm sorry. I guess he did fly up and use his head. So later on, the Shandu clock again, the tiny version of Superman comes out and uses a form of X-ray to hit the hammer and I guess, I don't know, slice it. The hammer falls down. I guess it slices it entirely free. It falls down and hits the gong. Look, Superman's in a trance again. No sooner did the hour strike than he got that dazed expression. The spell of Shandu has him in its mystic grip once more. So Superman goes out and uses X-ray vision on a pile of sand. Very strange. So this fellow says, "Well, Superman, have you any theory that will explain the strange effect that clock on you?" "I'm afraid not, Commissioner. It must be some kind of trick, but I can't figure it out." "Then you'll have to destroy it." So he attempts to destroy it, but then cannot do it. "I can't. There seems to be some invisible force holding me back." "It is supernatural, Superman. What can you do to get out of this spell?" "I don't know, Lois. Please leave me alone." So in the hours that pass, all Metropolis wonders as Superman is held in the grip of the uncanny spell each hour. There is a mention here, I apologize, from the commissioner. I guess the commissioner of the police. "I'm worried about, and to top it off all, I've heard that the Fallon gang invented a new crime machine and is just waiting till Superman's away from Metropolis to use it. There's only one thing to do." So yeah, he's still concerned about Superman. So the Fallon gang spots Superman, and they see that he is under the control of this clock. "He's on one of them trances, all right. It'll take him 20 minutes to snap out of it. Enough time for us to make a fortune with our new sonic vibrator." So they bring out this sonic weapon on top of a truck and go after the Metropolis National Bank, believing they have 20 minutes as Superman is in the trance of the Shandu clock. But Superman shows up. Actually, this is weird. It's the metal Superman from the Shandu clock. Although it looks, is that supposed to be normal size? Maybe it is. I guess maybe it is normal size, not small. They blast it, but it is Superman underneath the metal. It's the real Superman. So it turns out this whole thing was set up by Superman in order to trick the Fallon gang into thinking he was controlled by the Shandu clock and would attempt to use their weapon, and then he could catch them. Then the spell was a hoax. But why? Shandu, he's alive. Yes, the report of my death was a fiction. I never believed in the supernatural, but we staged that scene where Superman pretended to expose me so that the underworld would believe my threat. It was all the commissioner's idea. He knew Superman and I were old friends, and I knew Fallon had developed some supercrime weapon, so I was afraid Fallon would wait till Superman was out of town to use it. This way, we lured him into using it while he was in town in the clock. This has to be the world record for the most convoluted plan Superman has ever come up with to defeat a criminal when he could have done it in, I'm sure there's a million other ways he could have tricked them that would have been a whole lot easier. But I guess it makes for a fun story. So that is The Spell of the Shandu Clock.